As always, we will be starting with a video. Hello, guys. I am Coach Shannon, co-founder of Team Legacy. I am not sure Stacy's going to be joining us tonight. He sent me some sort of crazy message. It's been very, very crazy. I'm in Florida. He's getting ready to leave for Florida. We're going to be at different ends of the state. He's going to be up in Jacksonville. I'm down in Naples. Life is sick. Oh, and he's on. Look, he did make it. So anyway, I am on fire this week, and I'm so excited to talk to you guys about some rejection, okay? Personal development is a huge part of what we do every day, right? It's one of our vital behaviors. And so I'm always looking to find ways to maximize personal development. And anytime I find a nugget, I'm always going to share it with you guys. So I was on the airplane this week, flying down here, and Delta, just a little tip, happens to have, TVs, and, it's usually included in your flight. And they have, if you type in the browser, it's not easy to find, but if you type in their little search, they actually have TED Talks. And this last trip down here has been amazing. I've watched some amazing TED Talks, and I think this one is so vital. We have so many new members on our team right now, and what you need to embrace is something called the power of rejection. And I'm here to share with you, I know we don't like being told no, right? It's like we're humans. We, especially us as coaches, because we are yes people, right? We all said yes. And we are asking people to do this with us, and they say no. And so we need to embrace this thing called the power of rejection. And just like fitness, just like our education, just like our jobs, this is something that is not easily accepted. It's something that's practiced, and it's something that's learned before we can actually embrace it and accept it. So I am going to share with you this. It's a 15-minute TED Talk, but I think it's wonderful. It's funny. You're going to probably crack up, and I actually am going to recommend that we, as a group, pick 2 questions or 2 things that we can do this week that people are going to say no to, and we're going to commit to doing that as a team. And it has nothing to do with Beachbody. It's just going to be random and silly, and you'll understand after watching this video what I mean by that. So let me go ahead and figure out. So I have a little bit of a new computer here, so I'm going to share screen. Let's see if this is how I do it. Excellent. Here. You're going to love this, and you're going to laugh, and I know it. If you guys can mute yourselves, just so that there's no background noise, that would be super appreciated. Everybody can see my screen. And here we go.
When I was 6-year-old, I received my gifts. My first grade teacher had this brilliant idea. She wanted us to experience receiving gifts, but also learning the virtue of complimenting each other. So she had all of us come to the front of the classroom, and she bought all of us gifts and stacked them in the corner. And she said, why don't we just stand here and compliment each other? If you hear your name called, go and pick up your gifts and sit down. What a wonderful idea, right? What could go wrong? Well, there were 40 of us to start with, and every time when I hear someone's name called, I would give out the heartiest cheer. And then there were 20 people left, and 10 people left, and 5 left, and 3 left. I was one of them. And the compliments stopped. Well, at that moment, I was crying, and the teacher was freaking out. And she was like, hey, would anyone say anything nice about these people? No one? okay, why don't you go get your gift and sit down? So behave next year. Someone might say something nice about you. Well, as I'm describing this to you, you probably know I remember this really well. But I don't know who felt worse that day. Was that me or the teacher? She must realize that she turned a team building event into a public roast for 3 6-year-olds. And without the humor, when you see people get roasted on TV, it was funny. There was nothing funny about that day. So that was one version of me. And I would die to avoid being in that situation again, to get rejected in public again. It's one version. Then fast forward 8 years, Bill Gates came to my hometown, Beijing, China, to speak. And I saw his message. I fell in love with that guy. I thought, wow, I know what I want to do now. That night, I wrote a letter to my family telling them by age 25, I will build the biggest company in the world. And that company will buy Microsoft. I totally embraced this idea of conquering the world, domination, right? And I didn't make this up. I did write that letter. And here it is. You don't have to read this through. And this is also bad handwriting, but I did highlight some keywords. You get the idea. So that was another version of me, wanting to conquer the world. Well, then 2 years later, I was presented with the opportunity to come to the United States. I jumped on it. And because that was where Bill Gates lived, right? So I thought that was the start of my entrepreneur journey. Then fast forward another 14 years, I was 30. Nope, I didn't build that company. I didn't even start. I was actually a marketing manager for a Fortune 500 company. And I felt I was stuck. I was stagnant. Why is that? Where is that 14-year-old who wrote that letter? It's not because he didn't try. It's because every time I had a new idea, every time I wanted to try something new, even at work, I wanted to make a proposal, I wanted to speak up in front of people in a group, I felt there was this constant battle between the 14-year-old and the 6-year-old. One wanted to conquer the world, make a difference. Another was afraid of rejection. Every time, that 6-year-old won. And this fear even persisted after I started my own company. I mean, I started my own company when I was 30. If you want to be Bill Gates, you got to start sooner or later, right? When I was an entrepreneur, I was presented with an investment opportunity. And then I was turned down. And that rejection hurt me. It hurt me so bad that I wanted to quit right there. But then I thought, hey, would Bill Gates quit after a simple investment rejection? Would any successful entrepreneur quit like that? No way. And this is where it clicked for me. Okay, I can build a better company, I can build a better team or better product, but one thing for sure, I gotta be a better leader. I gotta be a better person. I cannot let that 6-year-old keep dictating my life anymore. I have to put him back to his place. So this is where I went online and looked for help. Google was my friend. I searched, how do I overcome the fear of rejection? I came up with a bunch of psychology articles about where the fear and pain are coming from. Then I came up with a bunch of rah-rah inspirational articles about don't take it personally, just overcome it. Who doesn't know that? But why was I still so scared? Then I found this website by luck. It's called rejectiontherapy.com. Rejection therapy was this game invented by this Canadian entrepreneur. His name is Jason Comley. And it's basically the idea is for 30 days, you go out and look for rejection. And every day get rejected at something. And then by the end, you desensitize yourself from the pain. And I love that idea. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. And I'll film myself getting rejected 100 days. And I came up with my own rejection ideas, and I'll make a video blog out of it. And so here's what I did. This is what the blog looked like. Day one, borrow $100 from stranger. So this is where I went to where I was working. I came downstairs and saw this big guy sitting behind the desk. You know, he looked like a security guard. So I just approached him. And I was just walking, and that was the longest walk in my life. I just hair at the back of my neck standing up. I was sweating, and my heart was pounding. And I got there and I said, "Hey, sir, can I borrow $100 from you?" And he looked up. He's like, "No." "Why?" And I said, "No, I'm sorry." Then I turned around and just ran. I was so embarrassed. But because I filmed myself, so that night I was watching myself getting rejected. I just saw how scared I was. I looked like this kid in Sixth Sense. I saw dead people. But then I saw this guy. He wasn't that menacing. He was chubby, lovable guy, and he even asked me why. In fact, he invited me to explain myself. I could have said many things. I could have explained. I could have negotiated. I didn't do any of that. All I did was run. I felt, wow, this is like a microcosm of my life. Every time I feel the slightest rejection, I would just run as fast as I could. And you know what? The next day, no matter what happens, I'm not going to run. I'll stay engaged. Day 2, request a burger refill. That's where I finished, went to a burger joint, I finished lunch, and I went to the cashier and said, "Hey, can I get a burger refill?" And he was all confused. I was like, "What's a burger refill?" I said, "Well, just like a drink refill, but with a burger." And he said, "Sorry, we don't do burger refill, man." So this is where rejection happens. I could have run, but I stayed. I said, "Well, I love your burger. I love your joint. And if you guys do a burger refill, I would love you guys more." And he said, "Well, okay, I'll tell my manager about it. But maybe we'll do it, but sorry, we can't do this today." Then I left. And by the way, I don't think they ever done burger refill. I think they're still there. But the life and death feeling I was feeling the first time was no longer there, just because I stayed engaged, because I didn't run. I said, "Wow, great, I'm already learning things." Great. And then day 3, getting Olympic donuts. This is where my life was turned upside down. I went to a Krispy Kreme. It's a donut shop mainly in the southeastern part of the United States. I'm sure they have some here too. And I went in, I said, "Can you make me donuts that look like Olympic symbols?" Basically, you interlink 5 donuts together. I mean, there's no way they could say yes, right? The donut maker took me so seriously. So she put out a paper, started jotting down the colors and rings. It's like, how could I make this? And then 15 minutes later, she came out with a box that looked like Olympic rings. And I was so touched. And I just couldn't believe it. And that video got over 5 million views on YouTube. The world couldn't believe that either. And because of that, I was on in newspapers and talk shows and everything, and I became famous. A lot of people started writing emails to me and saying, what you're doing is awesome. But fame and notoriety did not do anything to me. What I really want to do was learn and to change myself. So I turned the rest of my 100 days of rejection into this playground, into this research project. I wanted to learn, see what I can learn. And then I learned a lot of things. I discovered so many secrets. For example, I found if I just don't run, if I got rejected, I could actually turn a no into a yes. And the magic word is why. So one day I went to a stranger's house, had this flower in my hand, and I said, knocked on the door, said, "Hey, can I plant this flower in your backyard?" And he said no. But before he could leave, I said, "Hey, can I know why?" And he said, "Well, I have this dog that would dig up anything I put in the backyard. I don't want to waste your flower. If you don't do this, go across the street and talk to Connie. She loves flowers." So that's what I did. I went across and knocked on Connie's door, and she was so happy to see me. And then half an hour later, there's this flower in Connie's backyard. I'm sure it looks better now. But had I left after the initial rejection, I would have thought, well, it's because the guy didn't trust me. It's because I was crazy, because I didn't dress up well, I didn't look good. It was none of those. It's because what I offered did not fit what he wanted. And he trusted me enough to offer me a referral, using sales term. I converted that referral. then one day, I also learned that I can actually say certain things and maximize my chance to get a yes. So for example, one day I went to a Starbucks and asked the manager, hey, can I be a Starbucks greeter? He's like, what's a Starbucks greeter? I said, do you know those Walmart greeters? You know, those people who say hi to you before you walk in the store and make sure you don't steal stuff, basically. And I want to give a Walmart experience to Starbucks customers. Well, I'm not sure that's a good thing, actually. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's a bad thing. And he was like, oh, yeah, this is how he looked. His name is Eric. He's like, I'm not sure. This is how he was hearing me. Not sure. Then I asked him, is that weird? He's like, yeah, it's really weird, man. But as soon as he said that, his whole demeanor changed. It's as if he's putting all the doubt on the floor. And he said, yeah, you can do this, and just don't get too weird. So for the next hour, I was the Starbucks greeter. I say hi to every customer that walked in and give them holiday cheers. By the way, I don't know what your career trajectory is. Don't be a greeter. It was really boring. But then I found I could do this because I mentioned, is that weird? I mentioned a doubt that he was having. And because I mentioned, is that weird? That means I wasn't weird. That means I was actually thinking just like him, seeing this as a weird thing. And again, I learned that if I mention some doubt people might have before I ask the question, I gain their trust. People will more likely to say yes to me. And then I learned I could fulfill my life dream by asking. You know, I came from 4 generations of teachers. And my grandma has always told me, hey, yeah, you can do anything you want, but it'd be great if you become a teacher. But I want to be an entrepreneur, so I didn't. But it has always been my dream to actually teach something. So I said, what if I just ask and teach a college class? So I lived in Austin at the time, so I went to University of Texas in Austin, knocked on professors' doors and said, can I teach your class? I didn't get anywhere the first couple times, but because I didn't run, I kept doing it. And on the 3rd try, the professor was very impressed. It's like, no one has done this before. And I came in prepared with the PowerPoints and my lesson. It's like, well, I can use this. Well, when you come back in 2 months, I'll fit you in my curriculum. And 2 months later, I was teaching a class. This is me. You probably can't see this. This is a bad picture. You know, sometimes you get rejected by lighting, you know. But when I finished teaching that class, I walked out crying because I thought I could just fulfill my life dream just by simply asking. I used to think I have to accomplish all these things, have to be a great entrepreneur or learn, get a PhD to teach. But no, I just asked and I could teach. And in that picture, which you can't see, I quoted Martin Luther King Jr. Why? Because in my research, I found the people who really changed the world, who changed the way we live and the way we think, are the people who were met with initial and often violent rejections. People like Martin Luther King Jr., like Muhammad Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, or even Jesus Christ. These people did not let rejection define them. They let their own reaction after rejection define themselves. And they embrace rejection. And we don't have to be those people to learn about rejection. And in my case, rejection was my curse, was my boogeyman. It has bothered me my whole life because I was running away from it. Then I started embracing that. I turned that into the biggest gift in my life. I started teaching people how to turn rejections into opportunities. I used my blog, I used my talk, I used the book I just published, and I'm even building technology to help people overcome their fear of rejection. When you get rejected in life, when you are facing the next obstacle or next failure, consider the possibilities. Don't run. If you just embrace them, they might become your gifts as well. Thank you.
All right.
Can you please share this on the Team Legacy page? Because this is the favorite video I've ever seen, ever.
So this video, you had to, so, you know, I had my headphones in my, my earbuds in my head. I was laughing, I was crying, and there was this little girl sitting next to me who said, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, He is so funny. So, okay, let me stop this sharing so you guys can all see each other. So, such an amazing, guys, if you have not explored TikToks this week, I have just really experienced a beautiful number of them. I think I watched 3 specifically that are very, very, very near and dear in my head. But I always feel that our biggest fear, the hardest thing that we have to do, right? The hardest vital behavior is invite, right? And, again, we talk about this gift that we have, and if we don't share it with people, that it's, it's a disservice, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. So this week, I know that I've gone live and I've done a video in our team page about working with Carl, the CEO of Team Beachbody or Beachbody. He's really working with us and sharing how to overcome rejection. And, so he's put up many of us to this challenge of, come up with a short little, hey, good morning, how you doing? Not sure if you've ever considered one of my challenge groups. I have one starting on blah, 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 and I thought of you. Send. And do that 5 times before you get out of bed. Like, wake up, send 5 messages to 5 random people you have that are in your friends list, and just send it. And he calls these donuts. And the analogy that he gives is that, donuts, not donuts that we eat, but baseball players, yes, Stacy's swinging the bat. Before a batter gets up to bat, he puts a steel weight. I think it's steel. I'm assuming it is because it's very heavy. Okay, a very heavy weight on the center of the bat to create a sense of balance. So when he swings midline, there's accuracy, right? And it's hard and it's heavy, and they don't like to do it, but they have to do it very, they have to keep like a steady swing. Otherwise they can also hurt themselves. So, but they just have to do it, because if they are unbalanced and they're not consistent and they don't do it quickly, again, that's a problem. So they take these 5 swings with this donut on their bat every single day, right before every single bat, so that when they're up to bat, it's a nice, smooth, comfortable swing. They're confident. They've already gotten over the hump because they did something that was much harder. And so the invitation process becomes easier because we kind of did the hard thing already by randomly contacting somebody. So I don't know about Lindsay, because Lindsay is in this group working with Carl as well. Congratulations, Lindsay. She was selected. I think this week I don't know, I guess I've been doing this since Thursday and I've probably done a few more than 5. The first day I did 5, the second day I did like 12, and then I'm getting courageous and I'm sending a couple of more cold invites out there. But the point is to not invite everybody cold. It's just to take a few swings. But one of the most meaningful challengers that are in my challenge group starting today was a donut. And I told her that. I said, oh my gosh, you responded to something that the CEO of Beachbody put me up to a challenge for. And I can't believe it. She's like, this is exactly what I needed to hear today. And so you just don't know. Okay, you just don't know what people need and they want to hear, and you guys just have to, you might feel it's icky, you might think it's scary. Get over the rejection, get over the judgment. Just do it. You have a gift. You must share it. Okay?
Can I share a little something, Shannon?
Yes.
Because I had a very, very similar experience, and I just want to actually pull it up because I've been talking to this amazing woman all day today. So the same thing. I was actually in the hotel room with my husband. We went out for our anniversary, and that morning I may have been a little bit hungover, but I was like, I'm up, and the first thing I'm supposed to do before I get out of bed is send I'm going to eat my 5 donuts. And so I was like, all right. And so I did it. And I sent one, and this woman got back to me, and she's like, it's so weird that this happened, because I was just talking to my husband that I need to get, they had done a 21-day fix a couple of years ago. And they're like, and then contacted me, and then I started looking at your stuff. I'm ready. Let's do it. And I was like, what? And I mean, there was a lot of conversation in between that, but it's just, you never know. You just never know who needs it at that time. And it's been amazing.
Right. And it comes down to when you're showing consistency yourself, when you're sharing your journey on social media, when you are speaking from your heart, we are making a difference. We are reaching people. Okay. It's harder for them to reach out to us. If you think it's hard for you to just send a cold invite to someone, it is actually harder for them to reach out to us. So why wait? When you can possibly help someone sooner. Now, someone else may be like, ew, no, that's okay. All right. That's just where they are in their lives. You should not be offended by that. Today, I had somebody say to me, I'm very happy with my body image, and I don't feel like I need to lose weight. And so she had this perception of what we did was just all about weight loss. And I totally I could have ran away from that, right? I could have totally ran away from that and been like, oh gosh, like she thinks I'm weird. She thinks I'm icky. But I didn't. I actually applauded her for being on the same exact mission that we are on, of something called self-love and embracing your journey. And this was a woman who had terrible body issues, and she later sent me an apology telling me her history of being anorexic and bulimic and then a bikini body competitor, and the torture that she put herself to do that. And she doesn't know what the self-worth of that was. And so it gave me an opportunity to compliment her on being proud of overcoming that. And so we've just had this conversation all day. And now she's asking questions like, she's not asking about the challenge group. She's asking questions about, so how do you do what you do? That's amazing, because I've sparked now an interest just by engaging with her and who she was. Now she's like, wow, maybe I can be inspirational to a whole group of people who are having these types of, so she rethought about what I built that trust by complimenting her and really giving her the credit for taking control of her own eating habits and doing all of that stuff on her own. I'm like, we do lots of things. I had somebody else today say to me that they really didn't need a challenge group anymore because they were just about maintaining their body and their body image. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what our clubhouse is for. Like, of course, it's not just about weight loss. And so if we can continue those conversations instead of running away from them, it is huge. Okay. So I said by the way, I always like to start out with people who've inspired lives. So let me quickly give a shout out to Lauren Thraves, Neil. I started writing your last name and I didn't write it up, last names fully. So Lauren, Neil, Tom is on the board, Lindsay's on the board, Kara, and myself. Guys, way to go in week 1 of May to already start inspiring lives. Lindsay and I have personally discussed that we're not stopping People are still asking us if they can sign up. Today we started a new challenge group, so we just decided we're going to run another one on the 15th because people are signing up. So why should people wait, right? If we can do it, we'll form another group. So just a FYI, if anybody if anybody says, listen, I've got like one person random this week, of course it's going to start next Monday, right? Like we don't have that much time, but just let us know. And it's going to be focused. We're doing 3 weeks of the 21-day fix. Very, very focused on the nutrition aspect of it. Expectations are going to be really, really, really on posting food, container allotments. That's just what we decided was the focus for this particular group. Now, I don't know about you, Lindsay, but remember there are other programs that do portion fix. So
I think it's because there was exactly 21 days left of the month.
Right.
But
so I did not want to rule personally if I have somebody who wants to do core to fourth.
Yeah, totally.
Whatever, I'm going to let them do it for 3 weeks.
Yep.
But the rule is that it's really more, I'm going to make sure that they're in it for the portion control. Like that's
totally
the most important part.
Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
So does anybody want to ask for burger refills this week? Because listen, rejection is a practice. So if you are not ready to just invite people like, tomorrow. So I don't need to ask burger refills because I've gotten over the fear of just sending out my donuts. Okay. So you have got to practice this fear of inviting somebody without offending them. Okay. So would you rather ask for a burger refill or would you rather ask to be a greeter at Starbucks, or would you just rather send out 5 invitations every morning to people you've never talked about Beachbody with? That's your challenge for this week is practice rejection. And there's a concept called go for no. Just go for it. Like the more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes. And that has proven true in this week 1 of May for myself. I've also taught myself this month that I'm going to be able to reach more people than I feel like I have ever reached in the past because I'm doing this, and because in the past I felt like I put limitations on myself because I work full time and I can only give myself to so many people without being able to give them all my attention. That's not true. Those are limiting beliefs, right? We are capable, and the process is the same, right? So has anybody received any objections tonight? And that's what I would like us to talk about for the rest of this call is what objections have you received that you want to know, what can I say? What can I say next? You don't know what to say. They're like, hell no. And you're like, that's pretty concrete. Well, what can you say next? So anybody have any rejections this week that they would like to share that you don't know what to say?
I did.
Yeah.
I had one today, and I kind of sort of know what to say back, but any advice would be awesome. So it was to a cold invite, and I actually put it on myself. Like I was like, I really need to get my button gear for the summer, and I'm just looking for some girlfriends to do it with me. And she's like, I don't believe in diets. How'd she put it? She's like, I don't believe in diets and gimmicks. I just wish we could do it. I would join if we could do it the old school way. And I was like, the old school way meaning working out and eating right? Because that's what we're doing.
Did you reply that way?
I did. And she hasn't responded. I mean, it was a little more lengthy than that, but yeah.
And she hasn't responded?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I don't think she's read it though either, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if she Okay, so here's when somebody never replies to you. We call those crickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a good recommendation is to continue the conversation as if it was the same text,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, you just sent them this invite, and then you can end it with, may I ask you if you'd like to know about this group? What is it that you would like to know about this group to make you seriously consider it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a really good question to follow up with someone, because remember, you're looking for someone to be committal, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you need to know about my groups that would make you seriously commit? So that's one of my favorite that was recommended this week by Carl, because sometimes we have conversations with people and then they just stop talking, right? And you don't know where to go with the conversation next. So just continue that conversation by saying, what's it going to take? Just being straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
I did have a rejection. Actually, I think it was this morning, and I haven't gotten back to him yet, just because it's someone I actually talk to on a regular basis anyways. And he wants to work out again, and he's a guy. He wants to build muscle. Not really that big into the health and food aspect of it. And I brought up the Shakeology, and he seemed kind of intrigued. But when I was trying to get him to do the all-inclusive package, just because it's the best deal, he wasn't a big fan of the reoccurring payments for the Shakeology.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I was trying to get him to go in that direction. I figured I was going to go back and be like, all right, you know what, if you don't want to do the Shakeology, you don't want the recurring payments, you could at least, just do the workout. But it just seemed like a better deal to do the all-inclusive.
Right. So this is very good that we're having this conversation right now. So the thing is he's intrigued by Shakeology, right? But he's really not interested. He doesn't know anything about it yet. He hasn't experienced yet. He doesn't know much. So of course he's not interested in the reoccurring payments, right? But he hasn't tried it yet. And the great thing is that once he tries it, if he loves it, he's going to want it, and he's already set up for it. And if he doesn't, there's no risk he can cancel.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
So it's worth trying it for the $60 when it's normally $130, right? Because that's what it is. Beat Body on Demand for the year is $100. And then so you're for $60 more, you're getting Shakeology, which is normally $130. It's worth doing it with us for a month and see if you like it. If you don't like it, then cancel it. It's not that big of it's a phone call.
I'm going to go back and try to attack him tomorrow.
I love how she is just straightforward. I'm going to attack him. So the point is that we're not just selling a product, right? Share with him also how it's making you feel. Share with him why you find it valuable, because he's going to trust your experience more than the value of the dollar, because he hasn't learned the value yet, right? He doesn't know how good it is. But so the only way for you to teach him how good it is by actually just sharing about what you're feeling, what it's doing for you. And so, and then if you just, at this point, you've created a great conversation. Not every no is not a no. It's a not now. So it's an opportunity for you to say, listen, I don't like people to rush into anything either. Would you be interested in listening to the podcast to learn about it? Shakeology on your iPhone, if you just go to the podcasts, has its I think there's 16 different podcasts, and each one is maybe 6 minutes long. They're short, little excerpts about Shakeology. And this is good advice for all of you as well, to educate yourselves more about the product, because it's a pretty darn amazing thing. And a lot of we know how it makes us feel, but why is it making us feel this way? Why is it as expensive as it is? Why can people get something cheaper on the market? And so these are the types of questions that are discussed on the podcast, and they're free and they're public.
Darren O'Lean just did that. I can actually get the link and put it in the chat here. Mm-hmm. But remember, he did that very recently when those new ingredients were added, and it was amazing. And I've been sharing that with a lot of people lately.
Yeah, the matcha with the one. Was that in the podcast, or was that just a random YouTube video?
I don't know. I don't know.
I would love for you to post it in this chat, but I would love for you to post it in the team page as well.
I think Allie did post it in your team page.
Okay, perfect.
It's a wonderful video, and I actually have sent it to 3 people today because it's just one of those
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. But I'll post it in the chat.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So, so there you go, Jesse. Just he's a not now for now, right? And you don't have to worry about convincing people other than sharing with people. Listen, this is what it has been. I'm hooked on this and I love it. And that's okay. If he's not into it, then great. And then you also have to think about, Stacy brought up a really good point this week. David had shared on his page a conversation that he was having, and he challenged people to go ahead and respond, in his thread, how other people would respond to basically this guy was looking for pretty much accountability. He was looking for a fitness solution. He was kind of working out already, but he wasn't where he was at. And so this whole conversation came up, and as soon as Shakeology came up, the guy had pretty much responded listen, I'm already drinking this other product. It's a lot cheaper. I'm happy with it. And so, David's question was, well, how would you guys reply to this? And everybody had very good responses. I think everybody's response was pretty much on point, but I loved my husband's response because Stacy is a very matter-of-fact person. And he said, go back to why this guy responded to you. He's looking for a fitness solution. He is not looking for a product. Offer him an opportunity to be in a free group to create some value, and invite him into the community to see if he even likes it, which is, I think, genius. You're giving the person accountability. You're allowing them to participate with people using a fitness solution. Maybe it can be a Beachbody On Demand group, not a clean eating group, right? Or maybe it's a clean eating group, but we do fitness in it as well, right? So again, it's not always about those quick success points. It's not always about that convincing aspect. It's providing someone with exactly what they're looking for, and then creating value in that moment so that they don't want to leave. They want, and that's exactly what our fit-focused clean eating groups are about, because we post a few exercises in there. We have recipes for people to eat every day with their shopping lists, and that's what they're focusing on. But those of us who are drinking Shakeology post about it in the group so that it creates interest. And then we invite them to the challenge group, and we let people know that Shakeology is a requirement at that point. And at that point, they either know that they like the accountability or they don't. So again, always listen to why people are coming to you and what it is that they are looking for. We have lots of solutions. So, but everybody's actual responses, I think, all the tips and all the suggestions and all the all the things that people said really, really, really were good. So I actually suggest you guys go look at that post in the Team Perseverance page that he made, because I think it's what people said. It's a lot of good facts just for you to know. But you just don't want to convince people, right? Like, you want them to make those decisions for themselves, and you want it to be the right time. So anybody else receiving an unbelievable number of no's right now? Is anybody else inviting? Stacy, are you inviting? Jessica?
Started doing the messages on Instagram today.
Yes.
So I had about 10 out. And so I'm not inviting necessarily today, but tomorrow I want to do those donut things just to, just to do it. You know what I mean?
Okay, so are you doing your donuts on Facebook, or are you doing donuts?
I'm going to start tomorrow. I'll do it
on
on
your
Facebook.
Okay, cool. So again, it's a simple message. It's, hey, I'm having this, maybe you're interested, maybe you've been interested in the past, maybe you're interested now. Maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about. That's how mine starts. I'm having I'm having this group start next Monday. And then I list 30 minutes of fitness, nutritional shake, accountability, awesome group of people who are on their own journeys. Are you in? That's it's so simple. And that's it. Just do 5 a day. And it might seem weird, and that maybe that's not your motive. But when somebody replies to that, oh my gosh, I can't tell you. I sat literally in the chair of this woman's office for an hour, and we were laughing and crying, and it's all because I sent that message and she invited me to her job. It was so cool. So just you never know. You just never know. Anything else you guys have, or no? Okay. Alrighty. Shaun T's program, I think, comes out on is it the 13th or the 15th? Shaun T has a new program, guys. So
I thought it was being released after Summit. Is it sooner? That would be amazing. I think they were telling us what it was at Summit.
Well,
I may have read wrong.
I thought there was an announcement on May 12th.
Yeah, there's something happening this week. So be on the lookout for it, because he's been talking about it a lot. And so Stacey and I, this was the one thing that we missed when we were at this Success Club trip, was that there was this Shaun T announcement. So when I came home, everybody's like, is Shaun T having a new program? I'm like, no, there is no mention about Shaun T. Apparently Shaun T was going public on it on Facebook, and I was just like, yeah, it says Beachbody on it. I'm like, how did they not tell us? And he's talking about it, and I wonder what's going on. No, they did announce it. We just left because we were running to go to massage, but we thought the talk was over. And so anyway, he is coming out with a new program. I have no idea what the details are. So it's not a bad idea to create a couple of posts around, Shaun T type workouts, whether it's T25, Asylum, size, whatever it is, just to generate some, his thing is cardio resistance. So it's not necessary. You don't need weights with him. All of his stuff is just HIIT workouts, high impact, but he does have low impact options too. And so just to generate some interest, letting people know that, we don't just lift weights, there's lots of options for people. And then of course, UV2 comes out as well. So this week, Is it the 13th that gets released? Does anybody know if the preview is out on Beachbody On Demand? I think it gets released on next Monday. Is that right? Next Monday? Okay. So it gets released next Monday, but there's no preview, right? No? Okay. I don't think there is.
I think they already had one.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I think it was last week.
Okay. So what I suggest this, so here, you know how last week we did push-ups for pina coladas? So what I would like to do this week is for us to, I'm not going to create this campaign, this posting campaign for you, because I want each of you to take this as an educational opportunity, because I think if each of us do this and tag each and every one of each other in our posts, or a couple of coaches on the team in our posts, we're going to be able to learn from each other. So I want to make this week about creating value around what Shakeology is, what's in it, why we drink it, how simple it is, how convenient, how nutritious. These are all ideas. You know, we had a coach on our team post in our group recently that she was adding matcha to her Shakeology. Well, guess what? There's matcha in there. So what is matcha and why so it might be that you every day this week on your Facebook page are going to share about an ingredient in Shakeology. Or you're going to share how simple it is. But I challenge each of you to post every day something about Shakeology, creating value around this amazing product, okay? So that's the campaign for this week. And then next week, when UV2 goes live, I think it would be really fun for us to dance every single day, okay? I know, Jessica, I know, but there is something out there for it's somebody's gonna want to do it. She's
not me, okay, but someone else, yeah. Good. I'll do it. I'm a good sport.
Right, and
I'll do it. I'll do it for you, Shannon.
All right, do it for me. I think again, it might be with your kids, right? How fun would that be for them to do this fun dance thing with you? It's not going to probably take over your workout because, you like to do what you want to do, but do it, have fun with your kids, and then share it on social media. So this week, I want to create value around Shakeology, and then going into next week, I'd like to create value in Beachbody On Demand and UV2 and creating fun. I mean, think about parents. Think about summertime. Your kids are home, right? Something to do with your kids, in the summer months to keep them active, fit, rainy days. How do you keep your kids active on rainy days when they can't go play outside? There's so much value that can be created for people. So let's do it. And Stacy's going to do it too. Right, honey? You'll dance for us too, right? I can't hear you.
Traveling next week or, something.
Yeah, you might be, but guess what?
I'll be in the airplane the entire time.
I'm traveling too. No excuses, honey. You can do it. You do
it. Stacy, if I'm going to do it, you're going to do it.
All right. I might do it one day. And then we'll see how it goes.
Every day.
All right. I'll be a sport too.
Listen,
right?
Those Japanese.
Just be a sport. I'll be a sport too.
Honey, those Japanese love to dance and karaoke, and you might even be able to get them at the bar to do it with you. All you gotta do.
I'll get my husband to do it if you do it, Stacy. He just walked in the room.
I'll do it.
What you're doing next week? Do you want to know? No, you're gonna dance.
You don't.
Okay. He said okay.
All
He likes to dance.
And we're doing this every day next week?
Yes, every day we're going to post, whether it's a live or recorded video of us doing a portion of UV2.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right.
Shake the booty.
Come on, guys. All right. So thanks, guys. No, listen, we got to show people that, we're having fun while doing this, and we can do hard things. And little do people know is that is so much harder than like lifting a weight for many of us. So, yeah. But anything you guys want to, Jesse, how is your, or Jessica rather, we got Jesse and Jessica. Jessica, how is the group of the 4 of you going? It started today. Good?
Awesome. Yeah.
Good start. It was a good merge.
Super. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
It's going good.
Excellent. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad. And that's kind of what we do. We kind of feel things out and we figure out if the group's getting too big, then at least we know now if the group does get too big, there's 4 of you who can split into 2s and then make 2 groups, right? So as that happens, we'll do that and we'll just go from there. So. All right, guys. Well, that's everything that I have prepared for this evening. If you guys don't have anything else, I will give you your time back. You get 2 minutes extra. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And maybe just by all this interest that we're creating, we are going to all just inspire amazing number of lives by the time we hit Summit. The Surge to Summit is a very, very passionate thing that Carl is speaking about every single day. And it's all about helping people. So you guys are doing awesome.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Love you all. Bye.